Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 4. I'm getting super excited about this live series because as we get later in the week, we get to the parts that make me more excited. So let me just make sure that we are live. Yes, we are. So I can now ignore my phone. Welcome, everyone. Please drop a comment in the comments and let me know if you're here. Say hello so I know that you're here. And then also, if you could just let me know if all the tech is good, just pop a comment and let me know if there's no sound or if you can't see me properly or whatever the case is. Okay, so today's live, what is today all about? So today we're going to get more into some of the tech and especially the tech around making it easy for people to take action. So we've spoken about getting your branding on point on Monday. And we've spoken about yesterday, we covered your sales pages and how you can make sure that everything is absolutely perfectly done on your sales pages. Now we're getting to the point where people actually want to take action. They either want to subscribe, they want to enroll, they want to book you, whatever the case is. And we need to make sure that that part of the conversion is as easy as possible so that people can actually do that easily. Oh, yay. Yay. Thanks, Natasha. Good to see you here. Why is this text black? I am quickly going to fix this because for some reason the text color changed. I noticed this yesterday. So let's just fix this. The joys of tech. There we go. That's much better. Thanks, Natasha. All good. Okay, lovely. All right, let's go. Let's get into it. Okay, so we spoke about sales pages yesterday and opt-in forms and all of that good stuff. So I'm going to jump right into some of the tech that I would recommend you do, don't do, that makes conversion easier on your websites. And then I'm going to take you actually through some checkout processes, things like upsells and funnels and all these buzzwords that you hear people talking about. What are they? Do they need to be so complicated? Is it really just something easy? We're going to go through all of that. Okay, so first of all, subscribe forms. Okay, so what are subscribe forms? This is what you want to be doing on all of your websites. So I'm going to change over to browser view so you can see what I'm talking about. So you all are on this live, you all signed up for my free 5-day training, and you did that on this page of mine by filling in your name and your email and saying, yes, I need this training, and clicking on the button. So your subscribe forms, keep them short and sweet. Try and get them above the fold. If the point of the page is for somebody to opt into this thing, you want that subscribe form, as close to the top of the page as possible. And the most information you want to be asking someone for is first name and email, and click a button. Every additional piece of information you ask for slows down or negatively affects the conversion. The more information you ask from people, the harder it is for them to give it. So my advice is always only ask for what you absolutely need. If you have a subscribe form or an opt-in form and you've got the surname there, are you ever actually going to use their surname? I mean, unless you're a corporate that's going to be addressing your communications to Dear Mr. Smith, why on earth would you ever need a surname or a last name in your opt-in form? So have a critical look at things like your opt-in forms, even your contact forms. And if you don't need a piece of information, don't ask for it. Phone numbers is a perfect example. If you've got an international brand, you're appealing to an international market, and you're asking people for phone numbers, you're probably going to lose a lot of people filling in that form. If I have to give my phone number, I quite frankly bounce off a page because I don't want people phoning me. I definitely don't want them texting me. My phone to me is sacred, and that is not something that I hand out easily. So unless it's vitally important for your brand and your business to have that phone number, I wouldn't be asking for it. Cases where you can absolutely ask for it and it makes sense is if you're a restaurant and it's a reservation form, if you're an airline and it's a reservation, things where you may need to get a phone call. But if you're an online coach or, you're selling a service online, it's highly unlikely you're going to need someone's phone number. So just critically look at all your contact forms and your subscribe forms and ask, do I need every one of those pieces of information? And if I don't, take it out the form. The fewer fields there are, the more somebody is inclined to actually fill it in and go for it. Okay, so the other thing while we're on forms is to avoid overly long forms. So the way we do that typically, and I'm going to show you an example on Sabrina's site, is we break the form up into what we would call pages in the form. So on Sabrina's application for her Millionaire Mastermind, for example, she has an application form and it's a few questions long. So she could have that whole thing bang on the page, but we actually do have it on the bottom of the page. If you remember, I don't know if it was yesterday's live or the live before, I said always put the form on your page without a pop-up as well, in case people have pop-up blockers. But for those that don't have pop-up blockers, they can click on a pop-up, it opens a pop-up, and there's this form. And at the moment, there's just one question. And then you hit the next button. So what this means is we've actually separated this form into pages. So with something like Gravity Forms, for example, this is really easy to use. And you set up the pages so that it's one question and you hit the next button, one question and you hit the next button. And it makes it easier for people to digest filling in that form. If they're faced with a long scrolling screen full of questions, they're less likely to fill the form in. So here, do you have an online business? Yes. Next. And then you get asked the next question, and so on and so forth. And why am I not being asked the next question? Let me demo it on the page here. Oh my goodness, what's going on? I need to refresh this page. Wouldn't you know it when you're on a live? Oh, I do not know why the form is not working. Well, there you go. Great example of why you need to always be checking your tech. I'll be checking on that after this call. But long and the short is break your forms up into individual questions rather than having a long, scrolly form. Something else, if you have people that need to book a discovery call with you, so that's quite common in the coaching game, and typically coaches use Calendly. And it's a pet peeve of mine. What I hate is that they have a button to book into their calendar, and then they just take the person to the Calendly link. So they take them out of the website and to Calendly, and it's kind of semi-branded, but not really. And it's just, there's a disconnect. If at all possible, if you're working on your website, keep people on your website. So my Let's Chat, for example, I'm not using Calendly. This is a different program that I'm using, but the program is embedded on a web page, and you can do the same thing with Calendly. You can actually embed your booking form on a page, on your website, in your blog post, in whatever. You can put in that embed code, and then it's actually going to be in your page. So you can create a beautiful page, got a photo of you at the top, whatever the case is, and it's still on brand and it's still on your website. You need to realize as well, if you're shunting people away from your website, you can actually break the trust. So it's like, oh, where am I going now? I'm not sure if I want to fill in my details, and just puts obstacles in place, questions and doubt in people's minds. So if you have a embed form or a discovery form or whatever, embed it on your website and make it part of their experience so they don't feel like they're going away from your website. Okay, so that's all the basics of forms and subscribe forms. Now let's talk about actually purchasing. And of course, my daughter's knocking at the door to be let in. Give me 1 second. The joys of lives. Despite, prepping her as I have all week about going live, she wants in. So thank goodness the nanny's taking care of her. Okay, so let's get to the exciting stuff, purchasing, and the good ways that you should be doing it, how you should be doing it, the best and easiest ways. And we're also going to touch on funnels and upsells and bumps and all of these tech terms that you may have heard, but what exactly do they mean? So let's start with payments. So I'm actually going to change to my default scene because I want to talk to you about payments. So this is the thing with payments. please just make it easy for people to work with you. So we've spoken about this on previous lives this week, rewarding motivated buyers. Please, when people are ready to work with you, don't make them jump through unnecessary hoops. Just make it easy for them to actually make that purchase, enroll, book, whatever the case is. The less friction you can put between them deciding that they want to work with you and actually successfully doing it, the better, the better, the better, the better. So make it as frictionless as possible. Hey, good to see you. Hey, Danielle, good to see you. Hey, Rajiv, nice to have you on here as well. So, how do you make it as frictionless as possible? So, let's go through some different checkout processes of clients of mine. And you can see, and some of these are set up with different tech, and you can go through and see how easy it is to achieve these different things, even with, different tech. Okay. So, first of all, I'm going to show you, let's go back to the browser. So I'm going to show you Chanel's A to Z of live launching template. So if you're watching me this week doing a live launch and you're like, how will I even begin to start preparing for this and know what to do for it? This is probably a good place for you to start. So Chanel's my coach, and she has a live launching template that she's set up. And this is actually set up as what we call a funnel. So there's lots of different funnels, but basically funnels are something somebody purchases or opts in for, and then you put them in an email funnel. So that's one part of it. But you can also create a checkout funnel, so something that gives other options as you go, etc. So Chanel's got a live launch template. Here again, she's rewarding her motivated buyers right at the top of the screen. So if they're ready to take action, they can literally click here and go directly to the purchase. So there's a lot of things that we spoke about yesterday on yesterday's sales page training that's done really, really well on this page. Here's your, in a nutshell, what it is above the fold. So this is your template to plan out your live launches, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I'm going to go, I'm already sold. Can I buy this thing, please? So I'm going to click on the button and I go straight through to a purchase page. So here's the purchase page. And again, like we spoke about with sales pages yesterday, you want to try and keep these things as distraction free as possible. So you want to strip out any traditional headers and also strip out any traditional footers. So in Chanel's case, she's literally just got her logo and then she's got a few little, link, you might have like your privacy policy link and that kind of thing at the bottom of your purchase page. But otherwise, there's nowhere else you can go to from this page aside from actually just going ahead and purchasing. Okay, so in Chanel's case, she's actually using Lifter LMS because most of what Chanel sells is memberships and courses. So we've actually used Lifter LMS on her site to handle all of her tech. So Jade is going to pop in links as I chat today in the comments for you of the various tools that I mentioned. So as you're watching this, I mentioned a tool, my right-hand woman, Jade, is going to go and post a comment in here. So Jade, if you can please pop in the link for Lifter LMS. Okay, so this is Lifter LMS, and we've made this as friction-free as possible. So literally all you're going to do is create yourself a username. If obviously you don't already have an account on Chanel's site, put in your email address and your first name and your last name, and then she's got credit card payments with Stripe. So let's talk about payment processes while we're at it. Definitely make it easy. The two most important ones would be Stripe and PayPal for sure. Those are the kind of most used ones. Chanel uses Stripe and sometimes uses PayPal as well, depending on what offer she's promoting at the time. There are certain clients, and especially if you're appealing to a US market, a lot of US-based people specifically want to pay through PayPal because it is, one of the most secure ways to pay in the world. And they have that trust relationship with PayPal. So PayPal is definitely something you should consider having if you taking payments from people in the States. And then Stripe is amazing if you want to just be easy and take credit card payments. Then Stripe is the way to go. Obviously, every country has different regulations, different payment gateways available, etc. So it would definitely depend on where you are in the world and what currency you are charging. But PayPal and Stripe are the two to look at for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to create a username here. And I'm going to use a random email address that hopefully I haven't used before. And lovely copy and paste. And I'm just going to make up a password. Okay, and then I'm going to pop in my first name and my last name because those are required, and I'm not going to fill in my phone number. Okay, so there I've done it, I've filled it in. I'm going to, for the purposes of demoing this today, use a coupon code so that I don't have to put my credit card details in online. And that's as simple as it is. I have to check the box to agree to the terms and conditions, and off I go to buy my template. So once I've purchased my template, I actually get sent to a thank you page. So I've been enrolled in my course for this program. So all the stuff is there. And then this is actually Chanel's thank you page. So now this is what we would call an upsell. So she's saying, one more thing, this is the step-by-step course. You might want to learn to launch online. Maybe you should grab this for a one-time offer of $97. So now you'll see we went into this funnel with a $47 purchase, and you've probably seen this online before. You've purchased a book, purchased a PDF, purchased whatever it is, and then you get sent to a thank you page, and it's upselling you to something else. So there's a lovely little video you can watch there about the online training that goes with it, and it's got a plan and this and that and the other thing. And if you're ready, you click on I'm ready to learn, and you go ahead and you do that purchase. So it actually remembers me, and I'm going to enter the same coupon code again. So it will have remembered my banking details if I had entered them, and it would just go ahead and actually just process this. So you can see how easy it is. And of course, I haven't ticked the box. You can see how easy it is to just add an extra offer. And now I'm through and I've bought both things pretty easily. And now I get to the final thank you page. Congratulations, you're in. And this is where I go and go ahead and join the Facebook page. So super, super easy, and an easy way to add what we call an upsell. So that's all an upsell is. All an upsell is giving somebody the opportunity to increase the basket size. So in more traditional terms, if you think about this, this is when you're in the checkout at your local supermarket and you've got your bread and milk, you're standing at the checkout and you've got all these things next to you that they're trying to get you to buy, like sweets for the kids that are with you. So that's all it is online, is it's not leaving any money on the table. So this person has already they're already buying from you. They already believe in you. They believe in your offer. So why not offer them something that's related, that can increase their success in using whatever you've just sold them and increase your basket size. So you've then gone from a $47 sale to a $150 sale, let's say. And depending on what tech you use, you can string as many of these upsells together as you want. So you could create an upsell to an upsell to an upsell to an upsell. And when they've bought enough and they're happy with their purchases, they'll opt out of that upsell. Generally on all those upsell pages, there's a no thanks, just take me to my thing. And that'll just take you to the thank you page for whatever you've bought up until that point. So don't leave money on the table and make it easy for people to check out. I'm going to show you another lovely example. So this is another client of mine, Jennifer, and Jennifer has a celebrant directory, and she also has the Academy of Modern Celebrancy. So where she trains people can purchase courses and get into memberships, learning how to become a celebrant and change their life. So this is her wedding celebrant page. And yesterday I made mention of muted autoplay on sales videos, and I haven't gone to the sales page, have I? So let's just go to the browser view for you. Here we go. This is Jen's Academy of Modern Celebrancy. And yesterday, as I mentioned, we mentioned muted autoplay. and if possible to use that on your sales page videos. This is what I meant by muted autoplay. So you'll see there's a nice big click here now button, and there's actually subtitles at the bottom of the screen for the video. So it really draws you in immediately rather than having just a flat play button and a flat screenshot of your video. This video is actually playing and you're like, oh yeah, actually I want to watch that, and it draws you in to hit that play button. So the piece of tech we've used to do this is called Presto Player. So Jade will pop in the link for Presto Player there for you, and this is great for sales pages, a really great tool that you can use for sales pages. So that's just by the by. So we're going to scroll down again, reward your clients quickly, reward your motivated clients quickly, and that's exactly what Jen's done on this page. Right at the top, she's got the first button, and she's peppered them right through. So this is absolutely brilliant, ace, as Jen would say. So you're going to click ahead and go down to enroll. And here are your first payment options. So you can enroll now or as a pay in full, or you can enroll now as a payment plan. So this is the other thing that's really great for conversion, adding a payment plan, especially if it's a higher value item that you're trying to sell, which a lot of the good online courses they're more high ticket items. And if you're wanting to capture more of the market or make it more affordable to people who don't have that kind of disposable income, at the click of a finger, then definitely I would recommend introducing payment plans. Keep them as short as possible. You don't necessarily want to have them longer than the duration of the program. So if it's a 3-month program or a 3-month course, don't have more than 3 payments. You're more likely to have defaulters if the course is finished and they've gotten all the content and then they're still paying. That's when you're more likely to have a default. So make your payment plan no longer than the duration of your program as a rule of thumb. So we're using different tech in the case of Jen's site. We're actually using WooCommerce because Jen has different currencies based on where you are in the world. She deals with an international market, and so we're going to go ahead and click enroll now. So we're using WooCommerce, and we're using an amazing piece of tech called Cart Flows to actually customize everything about the checkout process here. So you can see again, completely distraction-free checkout page. Nothing on this page other than some testimonials on the right over here, a little bit of branding, and the actual checkout on the left. So this is a great layout, because when people are actually filling in the details and getting down to the payment section, if they're having any second thoughts, they're seeing some fantastic testimonials on the right, and that can help just get them across the finishing line, as it were. So I'm going to go ahead now. Jen actually gets a little bit more info from her clients. So bear with me while I fill in the fields, because for her it's important to have their company names and then also their addresses. So filling this all in. And I'm in South Africa. And I'm going to fill in a fictitious address here, so you all don't stalk me. And there we go, there's our address. And for Jen, it's important to have a phone number as well. So again, I'm just going to fill in a fictitious phone number. Okay, so there's the phone number. And then I'm going to use an email address. And hopefully this is one I haven't used before. Now, the first thing we see here as we're checking out is something we call an order bump. So this is what we call an order bump. So an order bump appears on your checkout page, and it's something you can select that gets added to your order in your actual checkout page. So you'll see at the moment, the one that we've clicked on is automatically selected. So we elected for the pay in full option. And at the bottom here, you can see your order total. So if I go ahead and say, yes, I want to add that naming ceremony certification that you're talking about, and normally we give a discount here. So you can write this copy using cart flows with, you can write whatever sales copy you want in there. So you can also give people a discount. So if they opt in at this order bump, let's say they get 10% off or whatever off of this thing that they're adding. So you'll see if you watch down below here, if you watch this total, when I check this checkbox, automatically it's refreshing that cart for me. And now suddenly I'm checking out with a new amount in place here with the extra £197 on this sale. So again, keeping it nice and simple all on one screen. Jen uses Stripe as well. So here you enter your Stripe details. You tick the checkbox for the terms and conditions. I'm going to put in my coupon code quickly. And let's go ahead and check out. So now I can go ahead and enroll. I'm clicking on enroll now. And it's going ahead and enrolling me to that program. Now, I don't actually recall if, okay, so there's not. So in Jen's case, we don't have a checkout offer. What's quite cool with cart flows as well is after you've clicked on that enroll or purchase button, it can actually bring up another window and say, hey, before you leave, you can also add this. So again, you can stack multiple things when you check out, and you want to just make it really simple, really easy. So here's the simple thank you page, tells me what I've purchased. I can click directly on the links to go to the course, and then I've got some little buttons here at the bottom which let me go directly to the training hub or go to join the Facebook group. So just really nice and simple. You want to keep it nice and simple, friction-free, just let them go through the process. Okay, so what happens if somebody actually starts filling in their details and then they have second thoughts and they don't go through to payment? I highly recommend you look into adding abandoned cart functionality to your checkout process. So depending on what tech stack you're using, and we're going to talk more specifically about tech tomorrow and what I recommend, but depending on what tech stack you're using, you can actually put in place abandoned cart functionality. So if somebody fills in the form, gets as far as filling in their name and their email address, but doesn't proceed through to payment, that is actually tracked on your website, and you can set up a series of emails to try and encourage them to finish that purchase. So I have this kind of functionality set up on my website, and it actually does result in people actually going ahead and completing that sale. So I'm going to take you through my sales page as well, or one of my sales pages for my templates. And if I click on buy now, I'm going to show you the checkout page there as well. So here another, and let's just go to browser view, another checkout page for you to see. So you can see these can be quite beautifully designed and quite interesting. They don't have to be boring. And again, this just tells people this is what's included in what you're purchasing, and it keeps it really nice and simple. So in my case, I've literally just got their name. The company name is optional, and an email address. I don't need phone numbers. I don't need anything else. I just need your name and your email, and I need you to pay. So just keep it simple. Take whatever distraction out of things as you can and keep it really, really simple. So we call these kind of checkouts, there's a few different names for them. They're called funnels, and they're also called tripwires. So a tripwire is typically if somebody opts in to a free something. So let's say you're signing up to get a free PDF, or let me show you an example. So I have one here on my website. So for people that want to know how to look after their own website, care for their own website, they can opt in to get my free guide on keeping your website ticking along. So what's quite popular is you have a free opt-in like this, and the thank you page actually goes to a tripwire page. So a tripwire page is that page that says, hey, thanks for opting in. How about you buy this thing for $47 or whatever the case is? So that's what we call a tripwire. So a lot of the times we use terminology and names for stuff that makes it sound all very woo-woo and, very techie and whatever. It's really quite simple. And generally speaking, if you're using a good page builder and you have any form of online payment on your website, you can actually build these out yourself. You don't need to go and pay ridiculous monthly fees for a dedicated tool to do this. So again, that's going to be more about that tomorrow and how I recommend. but the page builder of choice for me, for all of my clients, is Beaver Builder. And Jade will pop the link in for that as well. So all of the sites that I show you, these are all built with Beaver Builder and the other tools that I'll tell you all about tomorrow. So you can build any funnel you want using just good old-fashioned Beaver Builder pages and whatever payment processor you are using. There are options and ways to create your own funnels without having to go and pay for another service to create that. So there are lots of things out, third-party tools out there that post, just kind of, let's call it prey on our tech ignorance or our tech resistance or our tech fear. And so those tools really, make you feel like you have to have something like that in order to create a funnel on your website and all the rest of it, and you really don't. You can generally build it with whatever you've got on your website. And these days with WordPress and Gutenberg, you can build a stunning sales page just with Gutenberg. So you can literally build out your whole thing with free tools. So if you want more about that, when we get to the end of this video, look at my online course and you can find out how to do a whole lot of free stuff. Okay, so the other thing that can make it quite easy for people and for you going forward to make your website convert better is setting up affiliate functionality on your website. So again, this is another buzzword, another buzz term. I'm going to explain to you really quite simply what it is if you're not familiar with the term. An affiliate functionality is basically an ability to track where a sale came from. So in older days, non-online days, if you think about how we used to do business, we would tell people about our amazing offering and they would say, oh my gosh, I know somebody that needs this. And we'd say to them, oh, that's fantastic. Please tell them about it. And if they work with me, I'm happy to pay you a commission. That's all affiliates is. That's what it is. It's paying a commission, either monetarily or via points or via time or whatever the affiliate system is, for your referrals. So all these links that are below here that Jade is posting as we work through, those are all affiliate links. So all the tools I use and believe in, I go and set up affiliate links for. And if I refer somebody to that tool and they purchase that tool, I get a little kickback from that tool of whatever, depending on the affiliate. So you don't pay any more as the person, but because I told you about it and I sold you on buying it, I get some reward from the person or from the company. So that's all affiliate links are. And it's really quite easy to set up on your website again. Depending again on what tech you're using, if you're on a WordPress site, it's as simple as installing a plugin. So the one I really recommend is Affiliate WP. It's what I use on my site and all of my client sites. It's really super simple. It's like the kind of thing you literally install, you go through a settings page and you're good to go. And the nice thing about that kind of functionality on your own website is that you can make it integrated to your checkout and fairly seamlessly. So if you are, for example, an online course and you know that everybody, an online coach, and you know that everybody that comes through your coaching program is going to rave like a bunny about you and promote you when you're next running your next intake, you're going to want to automatically make everyone an affiliate at a certain percentage. And so you can actually set it up to do that. So when somebody checks out, when I checked out on Chanel's site now for her template, I automatically had an affiliate account created. And so when she starts promoting her new program, I can go in and set up an affiliate link and I can promote it on her behalf. And that way it tracks that I have promoted it. And when somebody comes back that has gone on my link and makes that purchase, Chanel knows it's come from me and she can pay me a commission. So that's all it is. That's what affiliate tracking is, and it's dead easy to set up on your website. So we'll go more into tech, as I said yesterday, but thanks, Jade. I see she's popped the link in there already for Affiliate WP if you want to have a look at it. And you can see that it's an affiliate link because it's got a little question mark and some letters and numbers after. So that's a dead giveaway that something's an affiliate link. Okay, so I'm going to just briefly, we almost finished going through most of the kind of checkout-y stuff, but I just briefly want to touch on some other sort of tech terminology, because I know, and please guys, ask questions in the comments, because I know so many people get so intimidated by some of these terms, and they really at the heart of it are simple things to do. So don't let quite frankly, don't let bullshit baffle brains. Ask the questions, and I will explain to you quite simply what those terms mean. So let's talk about an ATM funnel. This is a term you may have heard. And so let's talk about what an ATM funnel is and why it's important and why it's good to have. An ATM funnel, it stands for audience, trust, monetization. And this is basically what most of us are doing online. We are trying to build our audience, and let's talk about the best way to do that. The best way to do that is having those opt-in forms, having those ways to quickly get people onto your mailing list. So just like you did with this 5-day training, you're on my mailing list now. Of course, you can opt out anytime and unsubscribe anytime, but I now have you on my mailing list, and I know that you're interested in this particular kind of product. So if I do a 5-day series, or I bring out an offering that is going to speak to this market, this kind of market of the people that are watching these lives this week, then I'm going to have this ready-made, warm list of audience that's ready to talk to. So where do you build your audiences? I think most of us have used social, and I do speak a lot about the coaching game because that's most of my clients, but in the coaching game, most of us are using Facebook and Insta to try and build our audience. Now, if you've been on Facebook for more than 5 seconds, you know that Facebook and Insta change things like algorithms and APIs and all that kind of gobbledygook, like they change their underwear almost daily. And that can really affect, the effectiveness of the marketing you're doing on social. People get put in Facebook jail for 4 days at a time for using a word that's, means something different in a different country. I mean, there are a million reasons why your social can be derailed. So if the only place you are building your audience is on social, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you look at building your audience, expand that, let's call it expanding the playing field of where you're building your audience to search engine based places. So what do I mean by that? Well, here's some example of search engines. You all know Google, right? So how do you make Google happy? You put content on your website that Google finds helpful in answering questions that people are Googling. So if you write good blog posts, good, copy on your sales pages, your service pages, whatever, Google's going to love you and it's going to put you in the results. So that's one of the things to get right. Other search engines, YouTube is a search engine. Pinterest is a search engine. So you want to be putting content, not just generally on social media, but you actually want to be putting content onto the search engines. Because at the end of the day, the search engine is going to put your results up as long as it answers somebody's question effectively and quickly. Their model is making money out of advertising. So obviously you can pay to have your results appear at the top. So like Google AdWords, for example. And the other way they make money is advertising when people go through to watch something or read something. So that is how they're making their money. It's a different model to Facebook and to other, a lot of other social medias. So you really want to be focusing on search engines where what you're putting out can actually affect what you get back. So definitely have a search engine based strategy in place. So you want to be creating content not just for social, because, quite frankly, Instagram, Facebook, they can close your group, your page, your profile down tomorrow, and you could never get it back. And where are you then? So if you're promoting on social, regardless of where you're promoting, you want to be getting those people to the next part of that funnel, which is trust. And trust is when they put in the name and email on that page. So when you put in your name and your email here to opt in, this is where you're saying, yes, Chantal, I trust you with my information. And that is the point that you want to get them to. So everything on your social, on search engines, everything you're putting out there should be trying to get people opting into your mailing list. Because what is your mailing list? Your trust of your mailing list leads to the M, and M is monetization. And that's how you're going to make money out of your list, is you are going to send value to your list. You're perhaps going to put them into an email funnel where you're sharing interesting things with them. And now and again, you send an email saying, hey, I've just got this great tool. You guys have to check it out. Here it is. Go and buy this thing. And because you've built up that trust, you're going to get a percentage of people purchasing that item, and you're going to make the affiliate commission. So that is very simply what an ATM funnel is. There's no there's no magic miracles and smoke screens and what have you. These are really very simple concepts and very simple strategies that you can use on your website. Doesn't actually matter what tech you've built your website with. So that's ATM funnels. Order bumps, we showed you an example of an order bump on Jen's site. So order bumps are when you're going to check out to purchase something, it's adding something extra to that cart before you check out. Checkout offers are referred to once you've now checked out, you go to a sort of a thank you page that says, hang on, don't forget about this thing. Let's add that to your cart. So all of these things, don't get too bamboozled by the terminology online, especially in the online space and in the tech space. Sometimes I think people just, they use the terminology to make themselves look clever, or whatever the case is, make you feel stupid. So just get rid of all the tech. And please, if there's any, I'd love your questions in the comments. Have you heard a term that you don't understand what it is? If you want me to explain what it is, pop a question in the comments, and I'm happy always to help you decode that and put it in normal speak. I'm the kind of girl that calls a spade a shit shovel. So it doesn't need to be complex. You don't need all sorts of fancy, expensive tools, and it can be really quite easily done on your own website. And the thing is to look out there at what is working for other people and to, use that for your own brand. So here's where we're going to come back to that ideal client again, and we're going to talk about how you can tie that together with your ideal client. So do be careful when you're looking at tech, not to go and copy something else that someone else is doing for a completely different industry or type of business or type of brand, and then be surprised when it doesn't work for you. So with everything online, there are many, many ways to skin a cat. And it's not to say that a ATM, audience trust monetization model, is the model for your business. Your business might be a completely different model. So you need to look at the tech and look at what other people are doing and critically evaluate that, hold that up against your brand and go, okay, is this going to work for my brand? On Monday, when I spoke about, making things easy, I posted a little YouTube clip in the comments of Monday's episode. And it was if high street stores, if the experience at high street stores were like it is online. Do yourselves a favor, go and watch that and have a good giggle. That, in a nutshell, is what I'm talking about here today. You do not want to make it overly complicated for people when they are ready to work with you. Just make it easy for them to purchase and get on with it. Hey, Jenny, thank you. I'm so glad you're enjoying the series. So tomorrow we're going to talk more about tech. We're going to talk about the specifics of what tools you can use, what I recommend using. And we want to kind of have a healthy medium between functionality and the ongoing cost of tools. So I definitely do recommend paid tools for certain things. But if you're getting started out and you want to create a basic funnel, you can absolutely do that with completely free tools online. You can do it. So it's all just about understanding, stripping down, what is this thing? What is it actually? All it is one page that goes to another page that goes to another page and a payment. Okay, so let's just break that down and figure out how we're going to do that on our website. So keep it really simple. Don't put unnecessary barriers in between your offer and the person actually getting it. So please go and watch that YouTube clip. It's absolutely hilarious, that one about high street checkouts if they were online. And just look at your process of people when they're ready to work with you. How do they work with you? So I'm going to remind you again, if especially in the coaching game, I know we love these long scrolly sales pages. Reward your motivated clients. Make sure you've got those call to action buttons really high on the page. Make sure you don't make them jump through too many hoops. I know that a lot of online coaches, for example, they go to an application form. And typically these application forms are about this long with about 50 million questions and loads of paragraphs. Does that work for you? If it's not working for you, maybe you should actually think about changing your model. Maybe you need to be trying to get people to pay for a little masterclass, pay you $150 for 45 minutes of your time so that you can do a quick brainstorming session with them. And that actually turns into a sales call. And then you can sell them into your coaching, on an ongoing basis. So maybe instead of trying to pull all this information out of people who maybe don't actually want to fill in all that information without hopping on a call with you, you might want to think about different ways of actually converting. So there's 1,050,000 examples. But at the end of the day, what you need to do is look at what you're currently doing. Is it working well for you? Then just look at that process and figure out if there's any way you can streamline it even further, if you can push it even further in terms of conversion. Maybe your Tripwire and your checkout is working brilliantly already, and you're asking for the address, let's say. Maybe you remove the address and suddenly that's a 10 or a 20% increase in your sales because there's less things for people to fill in and the checkout process is easier. So test these things. All successful funnels, checkout processes, you name it, they are all based on testing. So test these things for your market. How sophisticated is your market, etc. So Chanel, I'm going to pop this comment up. So Chanel was using a system, I'm not going to mention the name, but she was paying something quite ridiculous. Please remind me how much you were paying, Chanel. She was paying something monthly to have an Evergreen webinar funnel on a third-party service, because at the time that she set up that funnel, that's what she believed she needed, because at the end of the day, that's what these sales pages are for online, is to convince us that we need those tools. So she went through the process. Okay, so here we go. This is what Chanel was paying every month, $197 a month to host her Evergreen webinar funnel. What is that? It's quite simply, it's a subscribe form that sends you to a video page if you've subscribed, and you get to watch the video, and at the end of the video there's a call to action. That's all it is, an Evergreen webinar. That's all it is. And the webinar is generally full of value. It's something like a live series, and by the end of it you do want to work with the person, and they generally have very good conversion webinar funnels. So $197 a month is what she was paying for the tech that she was running her Evergreen webinar funnel on. Was it worth it? Absolutely, because she was converting. I think last I've seen mentioned, Chanel had done something like 30-something thousand dollars through her her webinar funnel. So absolutely, it's working for her. She could have continued to pay the $197 a month, but we were able to recreate that functionality with the existing tech on her website that doesn't now cost her that monthly fee of $197. So there you go. So Chanel had made 37,000 through that webinar funnel. So webinar funnels work, guys. If you don't know what a webinar funnel is, that's quite simply what it is. All a webinar funnel is a page like this where you opt in to watch a webinar. It takes you to a page where it actually plays your video. So it plays a pre-recorded video for you of a webinar, and at the end of the webinar, there's an offer. That's all it is, quite simple. So, just look at your processes on your website, look critically at what you're spending money on, etc., and figure out if there's ways that you can do it on your site yourself. Now you've learned how webinar funnels work, and you're thinking, I've already got a website with a membership system and all of this stuff. Surely this is something I can do on my website. Hell yes, it absolutely is. So that's the long and the short. I feel like I've been prattling on quite a bit today. Yes, I have. We're nearly at 50 minutes. So I'm going to end this in the next minute or two unless there's any other questions that come through. But please, especially in this lesson, I know we've spoken quite a bit about tech, and I'm sure there's going to be questions that you have while you're watching these replays. Please pop them in the comments and I will happily answer any other tech questions. Tomorrow we're going full tech. So tomorrow's live is very important, and I know everybody here has tech and they want to run away. But it is so important for conversion that it's just like, please, you have to just do it, okay? You have to just watch this live, get my tips. It's things that are easy to fix on your website and can really have a good effect on your conversion of your website. Because at the end of the day, while we're doing this live series, we want to learn how to turn browsers into buyers on our websites. So we don't just want them looking, we want them actually buying. So today was all about the buying, making it as easy as possible. Tomorrow is going to be about the tech so that you can make sure that you get it all right. While we're on tech, one of the things with opt-in forms that I mentioned yesterday, and I'm going to quickly share a screen with you, was having your opt-in form above the fold, having the thing above the fold. So this is quite a cool tool that I use. It's called Sizey. And Sizey just lets me preview a page in a lot of different device sizes. So you can see on phone, I've actually got this opt-in form above the fold for this live training that we're running this week. So super important to always check, and I've mentioned this about 5 million times this week, but I can't stress enough how important it is to always check out your purchase pages, your opt-in pages, your sales pages in your mobile layout. Please, please, please do that. It's super important. Okay, so this is pretty much the end of today's live. So just a reminder, if you want to work with me, that's where you're going to go. onedaywebs.com, go, and there's a few different options. The main options on the screen there of how to work with me, whether you be a DIYer and need some assistance and training on how to get that right, or whether you're looking for a done-for-you service, or you're looking for me to actually create something gorgeous for you. So that is the end of today's live. I hope you found that really helpful and useful, and I hope I didn't bamboozle you with too much tech. Keep it simple, stupid. KISS is always what we want to do in web. Keep it simple, keep it frictionless, keep it easy peasy. So that's today's, in a nutshell, what today was all about. So please pop any other questions. Have a great day, everyone. I'll see you again tomorrow for the last live.